Anyway, so I want to talk to you guys a little bit about coding. We work a lot with a lot of different companies, so it's very important that we collaborate with everybody that we're working with. And many times, like for instance, for Profit Connections, our clients aren't in the same area that we are. Our client for that project is in Texas, so we don't always have the opportunity to work with somebody right in front of us. But we still need to be able to be efficient and have that level of interaction, that level of collaboration that really creates good products. She came to us with the idea, but it was our point to make that happen. Now, this is a black box, and this is the way that IT is generally viewed, right? Like you throw things into the black box, things come out. That's what happens, right? This is a normal developer, right? You look at a developer, generally you look at them like, they're grumpy old men, they just want coffee, feed them coffee and put them in a corner and they'll work and they'll do things. But actually what we've determined is that's not actually what's best to create good products. So we can't just simply have a Milton and him just be doing his own thing, siloed off in his own cube, and make it work, right? We really got to have people working together. We have to have, people interacting and Yomi's idea, interacting with my idea to make sure that it creates a better idea, right? Because the fact of the matter is 2 heads are better than 1, and 1,000,000 heads in the cloud are better than 1 head, obviously. So it just works. So we're not going to have any black boxes. That's what we determined. No more black boxes. We want everybody working together, and we want it to be a social thing, right? We want people working together creating the best products possible, and that's why startups are so successful these days, is because they have new ideas. They have new ways of looking at things. This is me, right? Me being social. So that's kind of the point. Not all developers are the segregated, introverted type personalities. It's about getting them interacting with other people, getting them working on technology and using technology that's available to contact somebody and work with somebody in Maine when I'm in St. Louis, or whether it's not even nationwide. Maybe it's in another country. I could work with somebody in Malaysia, right? So technology is really moving us in a way that we are able to do that. Right? So by using things like GitHub and presenting a normal format that they're used to, this is a newsfeed, by the way, we can really make people, even though we're pulling them outside of their comfort zone, working with people, in an introverted personality, using like a newsfeed that they're familiar with. Everybody uses Facebook, right? Giving them an interface that they're used to allows them to interact, even when they normally wouldn't do that. So you end up with pair programming or agile technologies that really push people to create better code, to create better products, which is ultimately, from a business stance, what we want, right? We want to create the best possible product that we can, be the most efficient that we can. And by using technology such as GitHub and allowing us an interface to speak with our management and coders all over the world, we really allow that to happen. Like for instance, here I've got comments on a task, and I've also closed and put individual tickets in for what I've actually done. I've closed the task from within my commit, so I can work on the code and not work on something else that somebody else is good at, right? This is an example of a manager, right? So by allowing us an interface to view these things that is more comfortable and more easygoing and easy to understand, managers can also get involved in the process. So now it's not just a matter of developers working on a project and being segregated from everyone. By creating an interface for people to use for things that they normally wouldn't understand, like this is a data set, but GitHub is rendering that as a map with data points on it so that management can go in and view what that data actually looks like, or what that interface looks like. So what we really provide is, say, a guitar player in the United States could work with a drummer or a singer in Russia, right? So I can check in my code sample, or for instance, my music clip of me playing, and have a resource there that is really a method for controlling the version of things. So if I check in one version of my guitar solo, a singer or a drummer in Russia could add in his piece to it, and we have different versions of that we can now compare against, right? This is what we want. We want people working together, and the end result, really what we want is, like I said, to create products that at a rock star. We want a rock solid project, right? We want a rock show. That's our business model right there. That's what we want. And really, to do that, we have to create the the search for talent, right? We have to really find good talent. And to be honest with you, it's a little bit difficult, right? So we have to come up with interesting ways to present this search to pull people in. And this isn't only in application development. This happens everywhere, in every industry, right? Whether it's, you searching for a wedding planner for your wedding, right? You have to have the best talent to do what you want, right? So here, I have Hanny here is commenting on a specific line of my code, right? He's commenting on the code saying, hey, this is a specific instance where I see that you could improve it, right? And by using this method, he's able to do that very easy, even though he's in Sweden, right? So the ultimate point here is that the more people you have working together, it creates one better individual, right? So a code base that I work on may be good, and it may get me started, but I ultimately need the top talent or the best talent I can get to, and all of us work together, ping ideas off of each other to make sure that we end up with the best product. So we allow, by using a GitHub or Beanstalk or really any other technology that's out there right now, we really provide an interface for that to happen that we normally wouldn't have. We're commenting on a specific line of code here. I'm telling why I made that decision, why I created that code that way. And by doing that, it really allows us, it doesn't matter what we're working in, whether we're working in coding or whether we're working with any other industry, we can tie all of those things together just simply by using these technologies that are now available that weren't available 10 or 15 years ago.